Today I'm sharing the 5 colours I've quit wearing since I've turned grey, and what I wear instead for a clearer, fresher look without needing as much makeup. I'll also explain why colour analysis can be confusing once we have gone grey, and why contrast matters more than undertone. Because going grey didn't ruin my wardrobe, it did expose what colours were quietly working against. The first thing that made me realise that my colours were wrong wasn't theory, it was what happened when I wore the right one. Last week, I put on a sort of fuchsia sweater and I had no foundation on and my skin was so clear and bright. I actually did an Instagram story. I was so impressed that I didn't need makeup other than a pop of lipstick. That was it. That would never have happened wearing the autumn colours I was previously wearing. So when you're wearing the right colours, you really don't need as much makeup. And this is a mistake so many of us make. We carry on wearing the wrong colours, but not realise that our contrast has changed. So today I'm going to show you 5 categories of colours that I no longer wear and what I wear instead. And stay to the end because I'm going to share one colour that almost all of us can wear with our grey hair. And this is where colour analysis comes into my story. So my story, I believed I was an autumn. I dressed in those warm, earthy colours because that's what I was told suited me. And I spent decades and money buying clothes that it turns out were wrong. And here's me as a girl at primary school. I would have been about age 10 here. Maybe you would think I was an autumn if you look at my colouring. You know, I'd buy the browns and hardly ever wear them. What I did wear, and this was very confusing, I wore other colours that were in my autumn palette, like the black currants, the cassis, the dove grey. Once I understood that 1, I was a summer, and 2, my contrast had changed, not my skin, the pattern and colours became obvious. So what colours have I given up? The first would be, but not necessarily the priority, just in no particular order here, yellow. Yellow reflects light back onto the skin. And with that grey hair, that reflection is unforgiving. It highlights unevenness, it makes me look tired, and instead of lifting my face, it drains it. But obviously, it was doing that all along because I shouldn't have been wearing the yellow in the first place. But let's ignore that. So what do I wear instead? Well, a colour that I've started wearing a lot of is purples. The same depth, same impact, but it's a colour that's suiting me. And it provides contrast against my grey hair. Before we go on to my next colour pairing, let's just have a little breather for some jewellery because I'm once again bringing you Ana Luisa. I adore the jewellery. There's a 2-year warranty. The pricing is affordable. It starts at $50 and I have had some of my pieces for years. This is an example. The Tyler that I'm wearing here today, I don't believe it's still available, but it's years old and I've never had to clean it. Ana Luisa jewellery is very stackable. And one of the things I would do, if I was a beginner collector of Ana Luisa jewellery, I would start with an Ina. And I've had this one for a multitude of years. A snake necklace is so popular this year for 2026. It's so stackable against pendants. And they do the Ina in certain bundles. So if you wanted to start your collection with a bundle that's already been created for you, that's a very affordable way of getting a complete look. But let's just quickly have a look at the new pieces I've received. This chain bracelet. And chain is very much a trend in 2026. So a bracelet like this is very much saying 2026 on trend. It's got a good weight to it. Then I also received some necklaces and I chose the pebble because I absolutely adore the pebble in my silver and in the gold tone that I've got. So I selected 2 mini pebbles and I picked that mini pebble up in black onyx. I think black onyx is just so classy and that would look good for evening or daytime. I also picked up the mini pebble in a ceramic. I think this will look great for a casual daytime look. It's going to look fabulous in the summer with those summer clothes because of the light and airiness of this design. Thank you very much to Ana Luisa for sponsoring this segment of the video. Do have a look at Ana Luisa's website, scan the QR code, have a look at the bundles. Right, back to the colours I stopped wearing once I turned grey. Those oranges and corals that I really should not have been wearing as an autumn, and definitely now as I'm grey, just are not working for me. They would make me look sallow because they're warm colours. They're energetic, but really they didn't do anything for me and I needed to compensate with corally blushes and corally lipsticks. So what am I wearing instead? Pinks, the raspberries, the bluer pinks. And I'm loving wearing those and the fuchsias. And those pinks I'm now wearing still give me that depth, still give me the clarity. They're They're still making an impact, just like the corals and oranges, but they're making the right sort of impact now. Neutrals were actually the hardest category for me to get right once I turned grey. The camel, the warm beige, the buttery cream, they kind of felt safe, and I couldn't understand why they were slightly off. But with grey hair, they absolutely drained me. Those colours clash with my skin and clash with my grey hair. That was my first clue that warmth wasn't my friend, even before I went grey. And yet the off-whites, the dull, cooler off-whites, I felt more comfortable in. I actually felt more comfortable in pure white. So I'm wearing cool beiges and mushrooms, which is a completely different result. Now, I want to say this clearly, because it's not about banning colours, because you can make a decision that in theory a colour shouldn't work, but you actually like it. You see, I have just ordered this top from Mint Velvet, and it's difficult online. You don't know what sort of ivory it is, whether it's going to be cool or warm. So putting it on, it is actually a buttery warm, but it's not too extreme. But do you know what? I actually like the pop it gives me. It gives me a pop of warmth. So don't just go by rules. Go by what you like. And do you know what? I like this on me, even if it's wrong. The key is knowing why you like it, why you've made that choice, and not arguing with yourself about it. And now this is important. Wrong doesn't mean unwearable. This works because it adds light and brightness without going yellow. And if you like a softer, warmer pop nearer face, this is a really wearable way to do it. I'll link it below because it's one of those pieces that just lifts an outfit without trying too hard. And if you don't want to wear a colour, this is a colour that you love, but you don't want to wear it on top because you don't think it looks good on you, you don't like the effect, wear it in trousers and skirts. Now, neutrals are tricky with grey hair because they don't add contrast. That grey hair is already reducing the contrast in our face and our appearance. So by wearing a neutral, we're ending up wearing a neutral on a neutral. We've got a neutral face, we've got a neutral hair, we've got neutral colour we're wearing. And that's why now I'm grey. Colours actually look better on me than neutrals. I've also stopped wearing khaki and olive. They're earthy, they're muted, they're washed with yellow, and just like yellow, they dull everything and going to make me look sallow. So what I do wear instead is soft blues. I absolutely adore those chambrays and those cool blues. I'm really stocking up on those pieces because these colours give me that contrast, colour up near my face. They're lovely and fresh. You're making a statement in those colours. And now I can link some of these colours for you because I've just picked up this sweater from Marks and Spencer's, and I'll list it for Canada, Australia, UK and the USA down in the description box. And also here's the QR code you can actually click on if you're watching on TV to shop. I also picked up a t-shirt in exactly the same colour for £5.50, and I think this jumper was about £18, so it's not expensive. Get it while you can. It's cotton as well, so that's going to take us into the spring season. But another shirt I've got in a similar colour I got last year from Uniqlo, and it is still available, and it's part of the J.W. Anderson collection. J.W. Anderson is a designer for Dior, so these come out at really reasonable prices and you're getting something designed by a Dior designer. But I just love this. And I wear it layered over a t-shirt or a little strappy vest in the summer. And in the winter, I'm going to be trying them layered over, well, a t-shirt, maybe a roll neck sweater in a neutral colour. But because the collar there is near your face, it's adding that vibrancy that we want, that impact that has gone because we've gone grey. So chambray in these cool blues is a bit like denim. So my love of denim didn't change. It's just become clearer why I love it. And the fifth category took me the longest to understand. These sort of warm, tanny browns, the terracottas, the rusts and so on, like this, the ones that have got some orange in them. They never really worked for me as a summer. However, as I've gone grey, that is just a lot more obvious. There's a lot of warmth in this, whereas our grey hair is cool. But being grey doesn't mean to say we can't wear browns. But those deep, cooler espresso browns, the chocolate, it's that deep, cool, it's that on-trend brown. A brown that's not going to add redness to our face. A brown that is going to add contrast to our hair. So how do we tell if a colour is wrong for us? First, does your face light up? If you look in a mirror, are you showing shadows under your eyes? Do you look dull? Does your face look dull? Do you feel like you need to put on makeup straight away? to actually look better when you look in the mirror. So if you feel you need a brighter lipstick in the clothes, the chances are you're not wearing the right colour. I feel, having discovered this, I feel at home now in my clothes, whereas I didn't before. Even then, even in the past, when I was wearing this khaki, I wore a navy scarf next to my face, and navy, what's that? That's a summer colour. So there's something there going on when I already realised something wasn't really working. You find yourself wearing the colours that you're not supposed to wear and you like yourself in them, do question it. Ask a friend, ask a family member. And this is where I then did something different. I got another opinion in a completely new way. Take a number of photos of yourself without makeup on in daylight and upload maybe 3 of those photos to it. Ask it to be a first-class colour analyst and to tell you your season, and then ask it to provide you with some swatches of colours that work for you and colours that don't. And from there, well, just ask your own questions, because things might come up that you think, well, I want to know more about this or that and so on. So you end up going deeper and deeper into this. Now, you'll laugh at this, but mine actually was quite blunt, and it said, Anne-Marie, it's very clear from these, because I gave it some old photos as well, you were never an autumn. Well, that made me feel good, I can tell you. And that's when everything I'd experienced in my wardrobe finally made sense. It's pretty efficient at actually determining whether you're cool or warm. So that's my rant about colour analysis. We can spend a lot of money on it, it might not be accurate. And not only do we spend money on that, we're then spending money on the clothes. And then we're going out in things that don't suit us, thinking, actually, oh, they really do suit us, but no, they don't. So there's an awful lot of waste there. Now, turning grey, our undertone doesn't change. So my undertone had always been cool, I just never knew it. That hasn't changed. My overtone did, because my hair was a bit more browner, and I was adding a lot of warm into it because I thought I needed to. And that's part of my overtone. Now my hair is grey, my overtone is cool, but also so is my undertone. Now yours might be still a warm undertone, but a cool overtone. Now you've gone grey. But the key is your hair is no longer providing that contrast. Now if you're ever stuck, that one safe colour that all of us with grey hair, or most of us with grey hair, can wear is teal. Teal sits between warm and cool, and it has enough blue in it and contrast in it to flatter grey hair, and enough warmth to flatter those with a warm undertone. So if you don't know what to buy teal. Now tell me in the comments, what colour are you quitting now you've gone grey? Do have a look at Anna Louisa's website, scan the QR code,